Welcome to day 3 of my 100 days of Webflow challenge. Today we're going to convert an iPhone 14 Pro video into a Lottie animation using Adobe After Effects and the Bodymovin extension. And then we're going to animate that on scroll with Webflow, and then we're going to create a nice outro section. Let me show you. So this is what we're going to build. You see this scroll animation. This is on scroll with the dynamic island and all that. And then this outro footer section at the end with some links. First, I would like to mention that I'm not associated with Apple in any way. This video is strictly for educational purposes. All these assets are available on the Apple website. Just a fan of the Apple iPhone 14 Pro and especially that dynamic island. And that's why I wanted to make this video. So we're gonna build this video from scratch. I'm gonna walk you through the whole process. And before we start, just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and let's go. Okay, so to start off, we have this iPhone 14 Pro MP4 video. So you see, this is the video that we're gonna convert into a Lottie animation. So in order to make a Lottie animation, we need to break this down into single frames. And I'm gonna use Adobe Media Encoder. So Adobe Media Encoder will help me break down this video into single frames that I will later use in Adobe After Effects to create that Lottie animation. So basically we'll just come on drag, and we'll just drag and drop this here. We'll make sure the format is a JPEG format, and then we're gonna click on Q. And make sure you select the output source, because otherwise you'll just have a lot of pictures somewhere in your download folder. And once that's done, now it's done, we just go into Adobe After Effects. And then here on Adobe After Effects, what we'll have to do is just copy all these images, just all of them, except of course the video on this file, and just drag them, drop them into the composition section here. And then once they are all pasted here, just drag them and drop them into the media section. What we need to do is a single composition, and then we need to make sure that the duration is a single frame, and then we need to sequence layer. We will not overlap, not do anything. So this is the default option that you're going to use, and then click OK. Now you see the animation is here. It's supposed to be the full animation. And what we'll do now is go to Window, and then Extension, and then Bodymovin. If you don't have that extension, you can download it from the Adobe Creative Cloud. Once you load the extension, you're gonna select the iPhone 14 Pro. You're gonna select the destination folder. It's gonna be Downloads. We're gonna name it iPhone 14 Pro Lottie. And then we're gonna go to Settings. Under Assets, here you can enable compression. So you can play around with that for quality and size of the video. What I'm gonna choose is 40, perhaps, is a good size. And then I'll click on Include in JSON, so everything renders as it's supposed to be. And then I'll click Render. Now this might take a while, so I'm gonna skip this part and come back to you. Actually, since this is going on, we can start building the structure on Webflow. So we're gonna create a new blank site. We're gonna call this iPhone 14 Pro Lottie. And then we're gonna create site. And yeah, this is going to be a very simple site. We're going to add first a section that is going to be the Lottie wrapper. And this section is going to be a 500 view height section. And inside it will be the Lottie animation. Just Control E, Lottie animation. This is where the Lottie animation will go. And then we're going to create another section that's going to be the footer outro section. And we're going to call this footer outro. And in this section, we're going to create content wrapper. And then as well as the background wrapper. And then here we'll just add an image in the background wrapper, and that will be that blue image that we chose, which is this one. I already set this up for you. You can download this later. I will leave the links for you under this video so you can download all these assets to play around with. And yeah, so this is the background that we're going to animate as well. This is the content that we need. So in the content wrapper, we're going to add a heading. I was going to say iPhone 14, and then under it we'll say Pro, right? Is that how it was done? So this will be iPhone, and then here we'll write 14 Pro. This section will be, we'll make it into a flex section in the middle. We'll give it a 100 view height, and this will be vertical, so they'll be like that. We'll make it on the side. We'll give it a max width of 80 rem. We'll center it. Maybe some padding of one rem on both sides. Come on. All right. And then let's size this at 5 rem, maybe 10 rem. Let's see how much it was sized in that example website. So yeah, so it was a 10 rem, and then we're gonna size the height at 1. So this is like 100%. We're gonna call this heading footer. And then this one will be also heading footer, since it's the same size. We'll make this an H2 just for the sake of HTML, even though this is just an example website. It's not like an actual page. And then we're gonna add a text section, and this is gonna be the disclaimer. So we'll say this page is strictly for educational purposes and is not associated by Apple. Okay, so now we're gonna add the buttons. So we're gonna add a div block. We're gonna call this link buttons, and then we're gonna add a margin top auto. So it's placed here, but we'll also wrap these heading blocks in a div. Let's do that and call this div block margin top auto, and give it a margin top auto. So this way, this is centered, and this one is at the end. Let's give this container also some paddings, So top and bottom padding of 2. to REM. We're using REM, just in case I don't say REM, that's what we're using here. And then the link blocks. So there are 2 link blocks. We're gonna add the link block element. So this is link block, and then inside it there will be a text, and this text will say watch video. And then we will also add the icon. We can use an image, so in the assets there's this play button icon. We'll add it here, and we will display flex horizontal. We'll center it. This icon should be 10, let's say 10 by 10, and then we'll give a gap of 1 REM. So this is spaced out. Maybe this icon needs to be a bit bigger, let's say 16 by 16. So that's 1 REM by 1 REM. I used pixels, but now I'm using REM again. So REM, we'll stick with REM. The font size will be 1 REM as well. So now they're all proper. We're gonna change this text block into link button text, and we'll call this icon link button. We're gonna remove this underline and color this black. We're gonna duplicate these link buttons. We'll choose the link button parent element, which is where they are, both of them. We'll display flex, and then we'll give a cap of 2 REM between them. We'll name this second button into go to the Apple website, so that you can go to the Apple website. We're going to change this icon to the other arrow that we have, which is this one, arrow plane. Arrow plane, we're going to make this smaller. So what we're going to do, we're going to add a combo class to this just to make it a bit smaller. So 0.75 REM looks a bit better. And maybe actually let's reduce this into 0.5. Yeah, make this looks a little bit better. And yeah, so we have this section. What we need to do is make the first we'll make the content wrapper into relative and give it a Z index of 10, and then the background wrapper into an absolute, and then the footer outro into relative so that it captures that background wrapper. So this is what we're trying to achieve. And the content wrapper is 100 V height. The footer outro is going to be 200 V height. And what we need to do also is that the content wrapper needs to be actually sticky instead of relative. We made that mistake. So this is sticky of top 0% so that it stays like this. So you have this little animation here. And yeah. Why is this not sticking here? All right, let's play around. So the image needs to be, the background image needs to be 100% by 100% height. So we'll call this background gradient image. And now if we see, now we have that animation and it looks better. What we also need to do is the body needs to be in the black color. So we'll select body, we'll change the background into black. So now this animation looks much cleaner. We'll change the font color into black as well. And this font color as well, this paragraph, we'll call this sub header. And now if we have a look, the preview looks much better. And now we're gonna check on our rendering, our render finished, so that's great. So we click done. We go back to our animation, to our website, I mean. We go to the Lottie animation. We replace this Lottie sequence and copy this iPhone 14 Pro Lottie that we just rendered and just drag it and drop it into the assets. Wait a little bit, and now we have it here. If we preview this animation, you see we have this very cool animation here. And now it's all about animating it on scroll. So we select the Lottie wrapper, the wrapper in which contains that Lottie. And since it is, we'll give it a width of 100%. Since it is 500% view height, we'll go to interactions. We'll add an animation which is while scrolling into view. We will select play scroll animation. We'll add a new animation. We'll call it Lottie scroll animation. And then we'll select the Lottie animation. We'll click on the plus sign, and then we'll go to Lottie. And first, it's going to be 0% here at 0%. And then it's going to be 100%, or actually 95%, since the 100% just goes back to black. And then we're going to place this like at 80% of the screen size. So if we preview this, yeah, I think we missed a step, which is making this into sticky. So we're gonna give this sticky of 0. So now this is like that. This is looking super good. Now what we need to do is making sure that Lottie animation starts. So we need to start at 17%, let's say. So yeah, so this is what we need to do. We need to start at that rate. So if you have a look here, now it looks better. So actually, instead of doing this at 17%, let's stick to 0% and make this element 100%. So 0% it's fully visible, and then 100% when it's fully invisible. So if we check that, we see that now it's responding just as we wanted it to. So when the page starts, it's dark, and then when you scroll, the animation starts, and then it goes out, and then the second section comes in. Now finally, we need to make that title that's in the middle, so we just make another div block. We'll put it on the top. We'll call this heading title, heading div, and then in the heading div, we're gonna add a heading. We're gonna make this heading div into also 100 view height, 100% width, and then we're gonna make it into flex. We're gonna center it, align center, justify center, and then we're gonna write here iPhone 14 Pro. We're gonna size it at 10 rem. Also give it a height of 100% or 1 nothing, one dash. I don't know what's that scale is called. But anyway, so this heading will be intro heading, and then we need to give it that color. So what I will do is I will add that same background, this background. I will just center it, and then I will clip background to text, so it will have this little color. And what I will do also is go back to the Lottie wrapper, choose that scroll animation, and I will give this intro heading a scale animation. So it will be scale 1 at 0%, duplicate it, and then at like 7% when the thing comes in. So this, yeah, it's 7%. We're gonna scale it at 0. The intro heading, scale it at 0. Click save, and then just to make sure that this heading is fixed, so we're gonna put it in fixed position. And also what we're gonna do, we're gonna make this relative. We're gonna give it a Z index of 20 so that it appears. Actually, let's give it a Z index of 10, and the footer will be a Z index of 20. So if we check this animation now, we have it as we displayed it in the beginning. So this scales down, we animate the iPhone, and then we have that footer section. We have these links, which I'm gonna add this video into this link and the Apple website into this link. So this will be apple.com. And then we're gonna name this iPhone 14 Pro Lottie.webflow.io, publish it, and then preview. Super cool website. So that's it. I'm gonna include this link for you as well under the video. You can clone this website. Thank you for watching the video. I really hope I taught you something here. Hit the subscribe, like, and drop me a comment if you have any comments, and stay tuned for the video tomorrow. See you tomorrow.